Are you looking to look at your approach to goal setting this year? You jumped in 2025 and you don't feel like you have got off to the greatest start, or maybe you're just like, I have, but I just need a bit more clarity around goal setting. Well, today I'm going to talk about this and how it can really help your growth as a man. If you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then as well. Now, I've looked at my life and thought like what worked and what didn't. And I've also listened to a lot of people about goal setting over the years in terms of personal growth. And why is it important? Well, think about it, when you don't hit your goal, how does it make you feel? I know or you just keep doing the same things and you've been talking about something for ages and not getting towards it. Well, I've certainly experienced that, and it's actually makes me feel down, makes me feel exhausted, makes me feel like it's made me feel like I'm not enough. And again, there's probably a lot of self-talk that I had to work through on that. But when I've set goals in the wrong way, it's set me up for failure. So I really wanted to talk about this today, just my experience with this. And if you look at people who do really well, they have a lot of focus into their goals. They're clear and they've got a process. So that's what we're really going to be talking about today. It's a process. I'm a big fan of process and getting things down and following certain guidelines, because I'm very intuitive as well in certain things. Like I'll pick up feelings, but I have a process to schedule my intuitive feelings as well. So I'll schedule time for like meditation, breath work, and things that really allow me to connect to a higher power. But also I like to be scheduled, because if you get a load of good ideas and you don't do anything with them, well, they're pointless because you don't do anything with them, right? And that's with goal setting. I found there's a really powerful process that you can go through. So I wanted to share it with you today. Maybe being caught in the same loop and it's just frustrating you though. So let's talk about this goal setting process, the 5 steps I want to give that I've learned, and I've hung out with people who are very successful in it and they've hit goals and they've not. And I can even think of examples in my own life when I've hit a goal and other times when I haven't. And then I've been able to reverse engineer what I did and what I maybe didn't do. Okay, so that's one thing I'd invite you to do as well, just reverse engineer as much as possible. So we'll dive into that in a little bit as well. So the first point I want to add to this is have a vision. Have a vision about like what would your ideal life be, like your perfect day. No limitations, as long as it's physically possible. What would you do if you want to be a multi-millionaire and you're far from that? Cool, go for it. Say like your ideal vision is even a billionaire, right? Just put it down. Like have this huge vision, right? Many people have achieved like visions that everyone in their, most people in their life are putting them down with. Like you look at the Tony Robbins, the Oprah Winfrey's in this life, they came from really challenging backgrounds when there's a lot of adversity and things like that, and then they've had this huge vision and they've got this life beyond their wildest dream, right? Or Gary Bernstein's another example. And set yourself this vision, just write it down, half a page to a page, of like letting your pen go loose like you're a kid at Christmas, right? As long as it's physically possible, right? Now the vision is setting direction. It's like that overall big picture, and if you really don't feel aligned with it, like over time, that's totally cool, right? You may change and rewrite it again. We change as people. That's totally cool, I believe. The thing is, though, that I used to have the vision and then I'd be like, right, when I hit that vision, I'll feel good. No. That's not how it works, I found, when I'm moving towards things. Because if you're like so far from your vision right now, it's going to make, which you should be, by the way, because the vision should be huge, and you're setting your happiness and your success based on hitting that vision, you might be waiting a very long time, right? And you just may not be feeling good, right? So just having the vision for that general life direction is key. Like, what would your ideal morning be? Who would you be with? What would you be doing? How much money would you be making? All these kind of different areas. And then what I like to do, the second step, now this is what you get super excited about, is your DCA. It's a concept from Laws of Success and Think and Grow Rich that I pulled out. It's called your definite chief aim. Now, this is something that you'll like kind of really focus on, hone in on, and ideally, it should be just one main area. If that's health, or whether it's your finances, your business, whether it's relationships, whether it's something spiritually, right? Just focus on one main thing that you'd like to achieve in the next roughly 6 months, 6 months to a year. What is that thing you would love to do? Like a trip you'd like to make, a certain amount you'd like to make. If it's a money one, by the way, the money is usually towards something. So what is the thing you want to do with the money, and how much money do you want to make, right? If it's a dream relationship, great, that's fantastic. Now what you're going to do is get details on what this thing is, right? What is this one thing that you are excited about? It's something that's excitable, it's also achievable, and it's going to push you a little bit, right? So like if you're absolutely broke right now, you're in debt, setting yourself to become a billionaire in the next 6 months to a year is probably not going to happen. So what is your dream? Is it like, oh, you've earned like 50 grand and you're completely debt free, or 100 grand maybe, if that's that may be a bit of a push, but it's achievable, right? Well, even the strange things happen in the universe, but what is it for you? What's the one thing that you want to do, right? That would be exciting within the next 6 months. Something that's realistic. So it's a little bit more realistic within the next 6 months, right? Like your vision is totally achievable, but it's probably something that's not going to be in the next 6 months, right? And then what I do is set my quarter goal. So what am I going to look at in the next 3 months? Like, and that's just breaking that one thing down into like what I'm going to do in the next half of that time. Right, what is a good milestone towards that? So it's like you want to earn 20 grand, or okay, let's say 100 grand by in 6 months. Okay, maybe you want to hit 50 grand in the next 3 months, halfway mark, right? Great. And then it's like monthly goal. So this is 1/3 of the quarter goal, because a quarter is 3 months, right? So breaking that goal into a third. What do you want to be achieving then? Now I know 50 grand's not divided exactly by 3, but you get it's roughly, what's it, 17.5, around that probably. And split that in 3. Let's say it was like 20 grand to round it up, right? You're trying to hit by the end, so then you'd go over anyway by the quarter. And then based on that monthly goal, you can look at actually what are your weekly goals? What is the weekly goal? And then you can look at it each week, rather than thinking, right, this week I got to do that week. Just looking at what you need to do each week on a week by week basis. And you can break the numbers down a little bit. And then what are your daily habits? What are the daily habits you need to do as well? And don't make a massive amount. Less is more. So no more than 3 new habits, no more than getting rid of 3 old habits at a time. I would suggest to consciously focus on. That's what I do. And then something small every day that moves you towards it. Okay, so those are my tips. Now, the final one I want to mention is something I touched on earlier, but just dive a bit deep into it in terms of goal setting. And I'll recap those in a moment as well. Is reverse engineer. Reverse engineering is a really key one. So you've hit a goal, you've achieved the goal before. Maybe it was passing an exam, maybe it was getting a certain job, maybe it was meeting someone, a relationship you wanted. It's like, okay, I hit that goal that I thought was really hard. And then even if you forgot about it, right, it's like, what did you do? What were the steps you took in moving towards that? What were the steps? And then when you can start looking and modeling your own success, you can start using that to create new goals in the future as well. Okay, so that's what I got for you today on goal setting. So just to recap again, goal setting is really there's different approaches, and this is what I've learned and pulled together from many different experts. But the main thing is to start off with a vision, something that's so huge you just write a half a page or a whole page on, something that excites you, a mix of all areas, what your dream morning or day would look like, right? And then you're going to, based on that, you're going to pick a DCA, a definite chief aim. And that's something within the next 6 months, I would suggest. 6 months to a year, right? And then from that, what is breaking that down? Also, I didn't mention if you want, you can set a couple more goals alongside the DCA. What I would not advise though is doing more than three, definitely not more than five goals, because you've only got so much energy. And the DCA, the idea of it is that is your main focus. Now, if, for example, your DCA was like making a certain amount of money, great, and because it's going to give you like a trip, a luxury or something like that, it's fantastic, right? But then you also might have a goal of some kind of like weight loss or kind of health goal, running a marathon or whatever. And then you may also have like a relationship goal. Maybe it's something with your partner, or maybe it's finding a partner, whatever it's going to be, right? Those can be goals as well, but you can direct most of your energy into one. And the other ones you can do like small habits towards and little actions, but you're going to be focusing mainly on your DCA. And then going back, DCA, and then break that down into a quarter. So what you're going to achieve over 3 months towards that. And then what you're going to achieve, breaking that into a third, what you're going to achieve in the next month towards those 3 months. And then what's a weekly goal you're going to do that's breaking down that month. And what are some daily habits that you can do towards that as well. And then, of course, reverse engineer for success to figure out what you did before as well, when you've hit a goal. So I appreciate you for being here. Thank you very much for listening today. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.